When Acura introduced the NSX back in 1991, it was an instant hit. In 2017, Acura actually brought it back. This is the 2019 model, and Acura did slightly revise it, so let's see if it still gives you that NSX feeling. Acura's NSX has always been known as the pinnacle of Acura's brand image. The NSX gets Acura's signature jewel-eye LED headlights, which flow into its large, prominent grille, which include various air ducts for maximum aerodynamics. The NSX shows its low and wide appearance by being 176 inches in length, and NSXs get these super sticky 305/30R20 tires and these optional 20-inch alloy wheels, which I actually prefer more than the standard set. Fortunately, Acura still remembered to add the NSX's signature wraparound taillights that are incorporated into its gorgeously designed rear bumper. The NSX still shows its true intentions by only having a meager 4.3 cubic feet of volume. And there isn't really a frunk either, it's just a bunch of the other hardware for the car. The interior of the NSX is where things get oh so bittersweet. There's a familiar Acura feeling of just how roomy and comfortable the cockpit of the NSX is. Material quality is good compared to its classmates, but nothing over the top. The standard ELS premium audio system has good bass, and it also sounds really good when at high volume. Okay. So the first thing that you'll notice when you get inside of an NSX is how low it is. I had to really crouch down and I was kind of struggling to get in. So it's very low, and that's pretty much how other supercars like this are. So as for infotainment of the NSX, it uses Honda and Acura's older system, so it is a little bit dated on that part. It does work well, I have no problems with it, but it doesn't use the Garmin navigation systems and stuff like that. But you do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard equipment. Although the infotainment system does work pretty well, it is a little bit laggy at some times when you're just using it like a touchscreen, but it's not to the point where it's frustrating, but it is something that you will notice with an NSX. But you have a bunch of dynamic modes for the NSX's drivetrain. So you have quiet mode, sport, and it'll start off very quiet. Well, not very quiet, but it'll start off not as loud, and then in Sport Plus, that's its loudest setting. But you do also have a track mode too. The gauges are also pretty cool in the NSX. It's all digital, which is something that I do like. The only analog gauges in the NSX are the fuel gauge and the coolant temperature, but everything else is digital, and you can control it with the little toggle on the steering wheel. They do look nice, but I would think that sometimes in some certain light situations there would be a little bit of glare, but I'm not exactly sure on that yet. I'll figure that out later. Headroom is also pretty good for this segment too. I mean, this is the only supercar that I've sat in, but I'm pretty impressed, and I'm a larger guy, and the seats hug me like my grandma, and I have a lot of room everywhere. You just have a good Honda Acura feeling in a supercar. Every NSX gets Acura's special 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 paired to a hybrid system that puts out 573 horsepower and 476 pound-feet of torque. Power is sent through a super handling hybrid all-wheel drive system and a 9-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. Fuel economy is rated at 21 in the city and 22 on the highway. Those are really good numbers for a supercar. Overall, I really enjoyed the drive of the NSX. My camera actually died, so I didn't get much footage of it, but my impressions firsthand were that it felt like an Accord V6 when you're just driving it normally, just a little bit rougher and a little bit tougher with a lot more torque. Also, when you are driving pretty aggressively, power is more than adequate, especially for a car in its class. The G-forces of this car are insane when you're floored. 0 to 60 is a brisk 3 seconds for the NSX, and there also is a rumored Type R version which has actually been announced by Acura to come out sometime next year. Ride quality is decent. It is average for a car of this class, just something sporty. Nothing smooth, but nothing too overjarring. This seems to be the perfect everyday supercar for most people because it has excellent fuel economy, especially compared to its competitors, a reliable engine, it's an Acura so it's very comfortable, and the turning radius actually isn't too bad either. And for you people in the snow states, it does have all-wheel drive. Handling was also extremely flat as well. So where the NSX gets pretty interesting and competitive is the pricing. So here's a quick rundown. The base NSX starts at $159,000. The color of this car is called Source Silver Metallic, and that's a $1,000 option. The carbon fiber rear deck lid spoiler that this car has is $3,000. The optional 20-inch wheels that this car has are $1,500. The carbon ceramic rotors with red calipers on this car are $10,600. And this car has the carbon fiber roof, which is a $6,000 option. That brings this car to $181,000. I'm not exactly sure how competitive that is in the segment because I haven't really done that much research into the other vehicles like the GTR and the R8, how much those get into, but that's how much this car is. So in conclusion, as much as I like the NSX, it does have some drawbacks showing its age, and I just wish it was a little bit more rough. It didn't intimidate me too much. It felt like a fast car that you could drive every day. It was very easy to drive. But the real question is, can it compete with all of its other competitors in this crazy segment now? You decide.